Ever find yourself in an awkward silence during a conversation?
Don't you hate that?
Those cringeworthy moments when your brain just goes,
I don't know what to say now.
yeah, we've all been there. Instead of stumbling through uncomfortable conversations trying to think of the right thing to say, watch this video in its entirety to make sure that never happens again. Imagine having the power to instantly build rapport and make people genuinely enjoy talking to you, because you're about to discover the ultimate communication hack, the one question that can transform every painfully awkward conversation into an impressive discourse so you never fear uncomfortable silences ever again. But here's what you need to know first that most people don't get. It's not just a specific set of words, it's a powerfully simple framework that can fit any situation. Forget about memorizing scripts that only work occasionally. We're diving deep into the universal structure grounded in neurolinguistic programming principles that ensures you will avoid those cringeworthy moments when you struggle to say the right thing. Because when you use what I'm going to show you, it will change the way you communicate forever. Let's get started. But before we do, I've created an entire PDF document with conversational hacks and awesome questions to ask people to make them feel like you're the best conversationalist they ever met. And the best part is, it's free. If you'd like me to email it to you, click the link in the description below and I'll kick it over to you so you can start mastering your conversations immediately. For those of you who have been trained in NLP, the basis of what I'm going to show you here is logical levels. No, not neurological levels, which is something completely different. Logical levels. For those of you who have not been trained in NLP, what are you waiting for? I mean, the basis of what I will be teaching is going from general to specific. For example, if you tell me you just bought a new car, which is very general because there are so many types of cars, I could ask you, what make and model is it? So you take something general someone has told you and you ask a more specific question about it. Easy enough, right? Anyone can do this. So how are you going to use this to make your conversation spectacular? Because you're not going to just stop with one question. Not only that, it's how you aim the question that will make all of the difference. By the way, when you're not sure what to say during a conversation, asking questions is a great solution. And here's why. When you're trying to think of something impressive to say, you're way too caught in your own head. Remember that a conversation is a two-way street. Truly understanding this, which most people don't, will give you the conversational edge over everyone else because most people are too focused on themselves while thinking about what to say next. This is what creates awkwardness in conversations. Two people focused on themselves, trying to think of something to say that will impress the other. Stop that right now. Yes, I'm talking to you. Stop. Instead, get out of your head and take whatever general information someone gives you and ask a more specific question about it. When they give you a brand new, more specific answer, you're going to ask another specific question about the answer they just gave you, but not just any specific question. This is when you're going to dig deep and go to their emotions, because when you get people to feel something, they will remember the conversation, and most importantly, they will remember you, and they will want more. So make them remember you by making your conversations memorable. While you're doing this, keep in mind that you're not asking the person questions just to gather information. While the information they give you will be useful to the conversation and for future conversations, remember that you're asking these questions to get to know the person better and to make them feel seen and heard, which is why they're going to love talking to you. Also, make sure you avoid sounding like you're a detective, giving them the third degree in a police interrogation. In order to do this, you need to come from a place of genuine curiosity about the person you're talking to. And don't ask me how to do that, because why the hell would you want to even have a great conversation with someone if you're not even interested in them? Presuppose that every single person in the world is interesting if you just go deeper than what's on the surface. Many men make this mistake when striking up a conversation with a beautiful woman. They're too busy or nervous because they're focused on her beauty and the things they want to do with her to satisfy their own physical needs without seeing a real person in front of them. Most people can actually feel your lack of interest in them when you're not focused on who they actually are, which is why they too will lack interest in you. It's time to change that. Let's recap. Start a conversation with someone. Take a piece of general information they give you, which is easy since that's what most conversations are like when you first meet someone. Just exchanging general information, and you're going to ask a more specific question. Once they give you an answer, this is your opportunity to go for a deeper, more emotional, more personal question. For example, someone tells you they just got back from a trip. The easiest, more specific question you could ask is, where did you go? Let's say she went to Spain. Your response could be, I love Spain. It's such a romantic country. Or, I've never been to Spain, but I hear it's great. She'll probably respond with more great things to say about Spain, and this is where most people get stuck, but not you. Most people continue to tread water in an ocean of general information, never taking it deeper. They'll keep asking questions on the same logical level, going sideways rather than going deeper, which will keep the conversation bland and uninteresting. It's like trying to go deep-sea fishing in a puddle of water. Here's your opportunity to ask that more specific question to evoke a more emotional response. You could then ask her, just out of curiosity, what did that moment feel like when you were in Spain and you just knew you had made the right choice by traveling there? How would you describe that feeling? Now, isn't that such a better question than continuing to ask general questions like,
Did you like the food? Were the people nice?
Now, before I leave you with one final tip about this conversational framework, remember this. When you ask a deeply emotional and personal question like this, give the person space to answer. Another thing that makes conversations feel awkward is being uncomfortable with silent pauses in the conversation. Be patient and be quiet, especially once you've asked a question. Most people can't handle these pauses, so they keep talking, fearing that any pause in the conversation will make the other person think you're boring. Stop thinking like that and shut up long enough to let the person connect with their feelings so they can answer you. Most conversations stay out of feelings, which makes them impersonal. But when you ask deep, emotion-provoking questions that make people connect with deeper feelings in order to answer you, suddenly every conversation with you feels memorable, and people will love talking to you because they feel great when they do. And who doesn't want to feel great, right? Make sure that periodically you share some information about yourself in response to their answers to your questions. You don't want the person feeling like you're digging for information. Share. Just don't share too much. Only share enough to make them wonder more about you. This helps to put them in a state of curiosity about who you are, which is what you want. Notice in the example I gave earlier, in response to someone saying they just went to Spain, telling them that you have been to Spain and you liked it or you didn't like it, or telling them that you've never been but you might want to go, is the kind of sharing I'm talking about. You're not suddenly making the conversation all about you, but you are sharing something with them, which will put them at ease about sharing more with you. In fact, according to the law of reciprocity that Robert Cialdini discovered, when you share, people will feel the need to reciprocate and give you something in return. As much as you may appreciate everything that I've given you so far in this video and the free PDF that I mentioned earlier, you might feel too shy and introverted to even start a conversation with someone. You're not alone. Most people feel that way. In fact, I still consider myself an introvert, but I learned how to overcome it. If that sounds like you, then you'll definitely want to watch this next video where I show you how to go from an introvert to a brilliant conversationalist